Ladies, gentlemen, and destined ones of all ages, now that we are a good chunk into the journey for most people within Black Myth Wukong, you may, as you start rounding into the later stages of the game, be feeling the urge to just really pile yourself full of as much experience as possible so you can get more sparks to spend on your skill tree and just unlock as much of it as physically possible, letting yourself have the real, true Wukong journey. For the vast majority of this game, the most efficient place to grind XP for those who want to is actually back in Chapter 1 on the Snake Trail, and this doesn't really change much until Chapter 4, which is why I waited so long for this, to let people sort of reach this point in the game so it didn't seem weird to say, hey, just go farm Chapter 4 to farm experience. If you want the early place that exists, this is the late place, and it is goddamn effective, so much more effective than the Chapter 1 version. It's worth noting, to make this work, there is a required transformation spell that you could easily miss earlier in the game if you did not get it back then, but you can always go back to pick it up. It just sort of changes how you do it. So first things first, let's talk about the transformation as it is earlier in the game than Chapter 4. This is the Ashen Slumber transformation. The spell you gain during this transformation causes you to explode in a massive fireball, dealing high damage to anything near you when you are exiting the transformation. Now that I've said that, you may be getting an idea of how this would be useful for farming experience. As for how to actually get it then, in Chapter 2, from the Sandgate Village entrance shrine, you need to run the whole way to the back right section of this large open area to find a house with a rock in front of the door and an interact prompt on it. If you have killed the two-headed rat enemies that are in this open area, then the person behind the rock inside of the house will actually talk to you about the third rat prince who went off to the New West. They are correct because he went to the Pagoda realm, specifically in Chapter 3. The first step here is unlocking the sealed prison cells, so from the upper Pagoda shrine, once you reach this, make sure that you have dropped off into the hole on the left here to fight the optional captain boss that's located here. Then you want to head back to the lower Pagoda shrine right near the bottom and run all the way to the closed cell near the original spawn location of the area. If you do this in the order that I just explained, the transformation will be waiting for you to be picked up from a corpse on the floor of this room. If, however, you didn't talk to the rat villager in Chapter 2 before doing this stuff and you do it afterwards, the spell will move. Still near the lower Pagoda shrine, this time head along the main progress path up one level via the stairs, then all the way on the end of this section through the tunnel, past the ramp that you would otherwise take for main progress upwards, and into this back corner, a cutscene will play, and then a boss will arrive. Defeat the boss and you still will get this transformation at the end of it. It's just a different way of getting the exact same thing depending on when you do it. That covered, then let's talk about the actual location to use this. Again, this is within Chapter 4, and it is right beside the Pool of Shattered Jade Shrine. Just for the sake of it, I will also show you how to get here from the Upper Hollow Shrine, which is a guaranteed shrine you get at the start of this area. This is a pretty long path though, without many landmarks to actually help guide you with my voice, so rather than showing you the path and trying to describe random rocks all sped up, we'll just let it play out properly to some nice jazz. Now that you're here, there is one more thing that you need to do before we can get started, though this is somewhat semi-optional. In order for this to work, we need the explosion spell of this transformation to do enough damage to one-shot all of the webbed enemies beside this shrine. Go ahead and test if it does with your setup. It seems to be based off of your weapon attack above all else, but if it doesn't one-shot, then we can come back and fiddle with your skill tree. Go to the shrine, refund a few of your sparks, then stick them into transformation magic attack damage, then scorch damage boost on this page as well. There's no harm harm in going overkill with these here, as you can just refund these points once you're done with this and you're done farming. That said, with these bonuses applied, you should be able to just get up from the shrine, run 15 feet to the right into vaguely the middle of this pack of enemies in the cave tunnel, transform, and detransform, which causes the explosion. It will obliterate the entire small tunnel, which is around 2,500 experience worth of enemies, and you also get about 2,600 will from this too, the actual currency of the game, so it's pretty nice. You can see for the experience, all of the whole just like queuing of 100 XP pop-ups on the actual XP bar, just back to back for a few seconds afterwards, and this is happening while you run back to the shrine. Then you want to sit, rest to respawn the enemies, and repeat this process over and over and over until you're done. I've done this for a bit, and when I had the button movements down to pretty much muscle memory, it was under 30 seconds per loop. But let's undersell the touch and just say that it's 30 seconds flat. That would make it around 5,000 experience per minute, or up to 300,000 experience if you did this for an hour straight without messing anything up. That is way more experience than you will likely ever need unless you want to hit triple-digit levels. It's way more than you get from the Chapter 1 farm. I went from level 60 to 65 in less than 10 minutes doing this method. It's just unbelievably effective. I've messed with a bunch of different potential experience farming spots in the game, and this is by far the best one that I've seen, so just come here once you're in Chapter 4 and abuse the absolute hell out of this. Abuse it and enjoy the gameplay that results from having an even further filled out skill tree. That's it for today, everyone. Just a nice concise guide to the best XP farm that I've seen so far in Black Myth Wukong, which is also the best farm to this point at the very least. It's just caused by an interaction between a specific pack of enemies and a specific transformation magic spell, when the damage is boosted just to the right amount past a certain threshold. I hope you've all enjoyed this then, and hopefully it helps you out in your continued journey to the west. Like if you liked the video, subscribe to the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet. Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world our stage. Goodbye.